Leo kile changamoto yanayokuumiza inakufundisha kuwa bora zaidi. What did I say was the end again?
Bora zaidi.
Ya ulivyo.
Utakuwa bora zaidi kuliko
ulivyokuwa.
Yes.
This is probably the changamoto myself.
You know, one of the things that I find fascinating when I read about proverbs is that some are so bland. It falls under proverb. 3 words. And you're told proverb. Some, it's a whole paragraph. You're told proverb. Some, like this one, 2 lines, you're told proverb. Then some are cryptic. Remember, the elephant on the hill, giraffe walking on the side, and monkey singing in the choir. Now, there is no such proverb, but I'm simply saying, for many Africans, if there's no animal in the proverb,
Then it's not a proverb.
and there's no hint of a witch doctor somewhere, okay, and something is extraterrestrial, how can it be a proverb?
The wind is not blowing.
It has to blow, and something has to happen. Now, proverbs, by their very nature, are simply that, sayings of the wise, meaning it's supposed to cause you to pause and reflect. Some may cause you to reflect perhaps a little more profoundly, but at some point, even if it's just a gentle reminder of something you already know, it has caused you to reflect.
All right. Now that you've reflected, please read the proverb again.
Kila changamoto inayokuumiza inakufundisha kuwa bora zaidi ya ulivyokuwa.
In English.
Every challenge gives you an opportunity to become better.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, when you're reading all these Swahili proverbs, I was waiting for a day like today when you'd prove that you're a man from Tamu in Muhoroni. Changamoto.
Changa, in fact, this is the influence of town. I should have said Changa Muoto. Yes.
This one, Changamoto. It's the Luo Swahili word. It's the only Swahili word that is Luo. Changamoto.
Interesting.
Our guest in the studio is Timothy Owase. Timothy is the Chief Executive Officer of the Kenya Film Commission. Not to be confused with the Kenya Film Classification Board.
Very correct.
Okay, what's the difference?
Kenya Film Commission is a state corporation under the Ministry of ICT that is mandated to develop, promote, and market Kenya's film industry. While Kenya Film Classification Board, just by name, it's actually an agency of the same ministry mandated to classify films. It does what we call rating. Yes.
So they're the ones who look at this is adult content.
That's correct.
This is
Yes.
PG. This is suitable for all ages.
That is it. And they provide advisory.
Okay. And
Yes.
what do you do?
For us, we look at industry development, talent nurturing, promoting Kenya's film industry locations, and also advocating for a conducive environment for filming industry in Kenya. Yeah, so we have a very wide mandate that touches on various aspects, including research, being able to provide information that is relevant for key decision makers in the country, and also marketing Kenya's locations, infrastructure, and all aspects that will enable this country to be a real destination for filmmaking. Yes.
It's interesting now we talk about that because now we are going to be talking about the 11th edition of the Kalasha International Film and TV Awards.
Yes.
So now tell us about those awards.
Yes, in line with our mandate of nurturing talent and creating a conducive environment for filming, we support film productions and promotion of local content in the country. And as we do this, we have also provided a platform to enable Kenyans to celebrate the kind of products that Kenyan filmmakers are able to produce. And that's why Kalasha International Film and TV Awards was actually established to give filmmakers in Kenya to celebrate their achievements. So this year, we are celebrating the 11th edition of Kalasha Awards, and this will be going down this Friday, the 10th, at Safari Park Hotel, where we'll have to award about 32 categories, ranging from television, film, and also special categories. This is
television, film, special.
and special categories. Yes. When I talk about special categories, we have categories that dwell on Kituo Halisi, for example, the station that promotes local content in the country. That will be awarded, and it's scientifically achieved, where Communications Authority, through their research, they are able, and monitoring, they are able to give us the station that is purely promoting a larger percentage of local content. Then we also have another category of Lifetime Achievement Award, where we award the best or the person who has contributed to the industry in a very significant way and for a very long time. That is an award that, again, the jury is mandated to provide and announce on that particular date. Yes.
Why is it important to have these awards from where you sit, as opposed to it being an event that must happen by the commission every year or however long? Why is it important to do this?
I can confirm this morning that it is important to have the film awards for the following reasons. One, we would like to motivate filmmakers to continue telling their story. Number two, we would like to up the game in terms of the kind of quality of productions that we give the audiences in the country. And also, the awards help the film industry fraternity to actually communicate that there is an existence of the industry. There are those who are yearning to join the industry, but they've never understood. So this is a platform to communicate to the public that there is an industry that exists, and it's an industry that will be able to make a big change. Think about what are the benefits that we are likely to achieve if we have a fully fledged film industry. Cohesion and integration from film, job creation. We're talking about branding our country, and also marketing Kenya as a filming destination. So all these benefits need to be understood by all those who are key stakeholders, those who are already practicing and those who are yearning to join the industry. So Kalasha Awards provide that platform to enable the industry to understand where we are going, and also to reflect on what are some of the challenges. Remember, whenever we have Kalasha Awards the way we are going to have this Friday, we have a jury that normally goes through various submissions, and they do an evaluation of the kind of quality productions that have been put on the table. We are able to identify what are the gaps, and we at Kenya Film Commission, we are in a position to address those gaps. For example, if there are technical issues, when we are undertaking our master classes and capacity development initiatives to address such issues going forward. So it's a fundamental event that we have to undertake every year, and also to reflect about all those issues that we need to address. If it's an issue of advocacy, to address them through policy making, we are able to advise the ministry and also other key stakeholders on what needs to be done. Yes.
What are you seeing? I mean, I think as one of the sectors or areas in Kenyan society right now that is extremely important is the arts, and which this falls squarely into, and that careers which can be made from the arts, an entire country then can be put on the global map through the arts. What are some of the opportunities that you're seeing with some of the entries perhaps that are coming out that you know definitely you'll be awarding? What are the bigger opportunities that are lying here that can promote this, that can entrench, the arts as careers for young and even older Kenyans, that can continue to promote the country on a global scale, just because of what you've seen in terms of what is being produced by Kenyans right now?
Sure. First of all, allow me to say that storytelling is big business, and Kenya cannot be left behind. And that's why we at Kenya Film Commission, it's our mantra to champion the vibrancy of Kenya's film industry. And that's why we undertake what we do in championing our mandate to achieve the real benefits that our country will be able to achieve. When I was growing up in the village, and I'll refer this to myself because I used to play games using clay. I would mold stuff and compete with the other youngsters. Today, the same games are able to be put on computer using softwares, and the same games can be actually produced, marketed, and commercialized or monetized as a way of creating wealth. So all we are saying is that there are immense opportunities in the screen industries, and that's why each one of us need to take a moment and support the industry. The opportunities are in various aspects. Remember, this is the only sector that provides you with room to employ each and everyone. We have pastors in the film industry, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have virtually everybody. So this is an industry that, with no doubt, it actually promotes all other industries.
The only qualification is talent.
The qualification
And
is
passion.
talent and passion, and also there is learning because there are technical aspects. We have engineers in this sector, we have communicators in this sector, and we also have other practitioners within this sector. In the wake of COVID-19, this is a sector that I can confirm that most organizations that deal in content had huge demands. So COVID again brought an opportunity for those who are practicing in the art sector. My take is that by promoting the film industry or the screen industries, then you promote all other sectors of the economy. Think about mining, agriculture, health, and manufacturing. The film industry actually cuts across all these sectors. When we talk about the big four, we are an enabler as a film industry. So opportunities are immense, and they cut across all sectors. Yeah. In terms of employment, it's undoubtedly clear that we can be able to employ thousands of people. I'll give an example. Just before COVID, we had a French film that was shot on location in Kenya. This production spent 400 million shillings in 3 months in this country. Just imagine if we had 20 of such films being produced on location in Kenya every year. That will give a lot of opportunities to Kenyans, and also as a marketing component for this country. So it is very clear that the opportunities that emanate from this industry cannot be compared to any other.
I want to ask you two questions.
Yes.
And thank you for opening that particular door. It's a lovely door. I'm going to walk right through it. Question number one. What is it that you, as a government institution, need to do to provide that conducive environment in which what you've just said can actually take place, where would-be investors, would-be filmmakers would feel as comfortable as they feel in South Africa, because South Africa gets a lot of this money.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
What do we need to do?
Thank you for that question. It's a very straight and great question. My response to it is that we have to create an enabling environment through the legal policy frameworks, which we are currently working on. As we speak, we have a draft policy at the ministerial level, which is meant to address funding issues, the film incentives, talking about being able to create a film-friendly environment where if a foreign filmmaker is coming into this country, this filmmaker should have an opportunity to get the equipment through the customs without hiccups. We should be able to harmonize all the filming permits in a situation where no permits are being charged by every county, the 47 counties, which means that will act as an inhibitor. So if we have a one-stop shop, which the Commission is actually working on, we'll be able to provide that kind of environment. And again, the key message here is that we want to be more competitive to our peers like South Africa and so on. Also, by attracting investment into the country, we must provide incentives to the investors so that we have mega studios that will be able to accommodate big budget films. It will be unfair for us to seek foreign producers to come and produce films here, only to come and shoot the films and go and do post-production elsewhere. That's why we are attracting facilities to be set up, and those will be done if we are able to incentivize investors into the country.
What you're saying is that there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's a lot that is going on that is heading in that direction. We've begun the journey.
I think we are in the process, because we've not just
In the
begun,
process
because,
of the journey, or in the
because
process of
we are-
beginning the journey?
We are already on the journey.
Okay.
The reason being, already, remember we are talking about Kalasha. Kalasha would not be happening if we didn't have productions coming out of this country. There are producers who are already telling their stories, and there are many stories locally that can be told. All we need to do is to enhance so that there is high productivity of high quality products that can be able to traverse the nations. Yes.
In terms of then promoting a lot of this content in country, I see, for example, maybe what I like to call affirmative action within the sector when it became mandatory to have local content produced. So what that did is that it created a platform upon which now producers and actors and writers and, etc., then had a platform upon which their content could be aired and then would be consumed by a local population. We have a lot more now that's being produced in the country than was, let's say, 10 to 15 years ago. There was always consumption of foreign content. Now, in terms of then continuing to raise awareness of what Kenyan producers or Kenyan actors or Kenyan scriptwriters are doing, I believe that one of the greatest audiences are the ones that you have right here on home soil. What then do you think is necessary to be able to continually build awareness of what's available locally? Because then what that does is that you have local consumption of local content, and that's a revenue earner in itself.
Yes.
And you don't have to necessarily depend on these foreign productions that you're talking about. What needs to be done to create that scenario?
Thank you very much. Your question borders on the KICA Act, Kenya Information Communication Act of 2013, which provided that the Communications Authority implements the 40 to 60% local content. And the reason as to why this act was put in place is so that we promote local content in the country. And also, other than that, in marketing terms, today, Kenyans want to watch stories that they can be able to resonate with. And it is very evident that the more we tell our own stories, the more they will be consumed. I'll refer to a few years back when I used to work for one of the pay TV companies, and they introduced African stories through the Africa Magic channels. That provided an opportunity where many subscribers of African origin actually bought the pay TV boxes because they were seeing now stories that they can be able to resonate with. For us, we are not left behind, and that's why at the Commission, we are championing through various programs that are geared towards enabling Kenyans to tell their own stories. And to achieve this, we have come up with the following. We're establishing what we call film hubs in regions or in counties. And these hubs are aimed at providing filmmakers an opportunity to tell their stories without having to struggle on getting equipment and so on. So this is a work in progress. Other than that, we also have audience development programs where we sensitize Kenyans on the available content, because we know we are about 44 tribes in this country, and film doesn't recognize any tribe. Film is tribeless, and we encourage cohesion and integration through storytelling. When we do this, we are calling upon all Kenyans to take advantage of stories that are being told through film, to be able to provide an avenue for us to actually promote this, and also ensure that we are creating job opportunities through storytelling. So to answer your question directly, we are championing this through promotion, capacity development, so that we are able to tell our stories in a quality manner, and also establishing clubs through film clubs in schools, which means that those youngsters who are well talented and they want to advance their careers through university, they are able to actually follow their path without being restricted by their parents. And this is happening by way of continuing to champion the film clubs, supporting them, providing equipment in these clubs, and also just passing the buzzword of art pays and art is a livelihood.
Yes. That's actually a very good tagline. Art pays and art is a livelihood.
Yes.
Their parents in City's generation would never have heard anything like that.
Art.
Pays.
You want to study music.
Yes.
You want to play a guitar and join a band.
You want to act.
No. And that's the beginning. Meaning you want to smoke bangi and you want to be an alcoholic.
That's what it means. 1 + 1 =
I'm just giving you the array of things which were associated with the arts. Okay. Essentially, you do not want to do what other people do.
Yep.
Study for something meaningful.
Yeah. Timothy Owase is the Chief Executive Officer of the Kenya Film Commission. We are talking about the upcoming 11th edition of the Kalasha International Film and TV Awards. So 706 entries this year. With a jury of 7 members, they broke down into 5 nominees for each category. And Timothy, you've told us there were 32 categories celebrating TV, film, and special category.
Yes.
And all these are then now going to be feted this Friday in terms of what they've done. Of course, we're not only looking at actors and directors. There are others that we also recognize in the awards. What are these categories about?
Thank you. First of all, let's appreciate that the film industry value chain is huge and it plays a critical role in the entire economy. I'll justify this by giving an example of a film that we funded. It's called Medicine Man. This film was shot on location in Embu County, and it's produced in Kiembu. It was premiered this last Sunday.
I saw the trailer. Serious stuff.
All I'm trying to say is that with the promotion of local film industry, we are able to inject vibrancy in various ways. When this film was shot on location in Embu, one of the very first things that happened is that we had about 250 crew members, some from other parts of the country, and some were locals. The taxi drivers were able to get jobs. We had mama mbogas who had an opportunity to supply food to the hotel where this crew were staying. We also had other suppliers. So the hotel industry was also able to benefit because the crew were actually staying in this hotel and occupying various hotel rooms. So all this provides room for the industry to actually thrive and also enable the growth of the local economy. When I went to Embu, I had a mission to actually meet the governor of Embu, who is Mheshimiwa Wambora, and we talked about that particular film. And by way of going through the benefits the Embu County was actually gaining from this production, he was able to appreciate the need for each county in this country to promote film. So we are currently working with the 47 counties to see to it that each county is able to budget for film every financial year. Because if we left the film industry to be funded only at the national level, then we'll be missing the mark and also creating a gap which is not necessary. We need to be able to champion the growth of the film industry by enabling every aspect of the value chain in many ways. So going back to the film awards, yes, we are funding film so that we are able to celebrate the kind of productions at every end of the year, like we are doing this Friday. So this year we had various entries. As you mentioned, 7 or 6 were the submissions. And out of that, they are classified into 3 categories. We have special categories, which will have the Kituo Halisi. We'll also have the Lifetime Achievement Award. Other than that, we have awards in the TV category and film category. All this will go down by being awarded to specific winners who've been selected by the jury, who had the 70% of the selection. Then the public had 30% in determining who are the winners for this year. And as we award these filmmakers or the winners, I also needed to underscore the fact that they are not only going home with the trophy, but they're also going with a cash token in addition to the trophy that they are going to receive this Friday. So the benefits and within the film industry value chain runs from the story writing all the way to production and also distribution. All these are jobs that are provided within the film industry value chain. So my rallying call is all about each one of us taking an initiative to support the sector, as the government works on putting a framework that will be able to support the development and growth of this sector.
Timothy,
Yes.
I like what you're saying. It's almost music to my ears. However,
Yes.
we focus on the success stories. But out of the success stories, there are very many people who fall by the wayside, meaning they make the attempt, they don't quite meet the master, but they keep trying. They have their production, they try and sell it to media houses such as this one. Some succeed, some don't. Now, since this is your docket and this is something that you do,
Yes.
what do you tell these individuals?
They should not give up. And also, just to emphasize that government is there to facilitate each one of us, because that's the duty of government. When it comes to media houses, I think there is one missing link that we've always had. Media houses are broadcasters. I've never understood why broadcasters decided to take up the role of producers. Many houses in the country play a role of production. You do productions for your own broadcasts. Why can't we have a situation where there is a demand-driven operation where broadcasters actually buy content from my producers? Let producers be the suppliers of content to these broadcasters.
Timothy, you're the government.
Yes,
Yes.
but you know this is a free market trade area.
So you want it to be forced?
No. Not that I want it to be forced. I mean, by the time we're doing something, it means there's a gap.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why the legal framework amendment
Yes.
will be able to solve that, because we need a situation where the producer is able to negotiate with the buyer of content on a buyer-seller agreement level, other than the buyer is the producer.
You know,
that is our weakness.
You opened one door previously, you opened another one. You said the government is there to assist. Okay. How does the government assist, and how does somebody get to a point where they can receive this assistance?
That's why Kenya Film Commission was established, and today our doors are open. We are funding programs from the year 2019. Unlike before, today producers are able to actually apply for grants from government through Kenya Film Commission. That is one way of supporting the film industry. For those whom you are saying that they are not able to progress because they are not able to get markets, we also have established the Kalasha International Film and TV Market, which takes place every year during the month of March. And why is this important? It's important because we would like to attract buyers or distributors to come into this country and be able to meet our content producers. We know that we cannot carry each and every producer from this country to Cannes or to Sundance, but we can be able to create our own space where those buyers from Sundance and Berlinale can be able to come here and interact with our
You
producers.
read my mind. I was actually going there. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, I was actually going to ask you about that, because how do you produce a kind of Sundance situation here? Because we are known for many positive things.
Correct.
Kenya is attractive enough. As a travel hub, it's probably one of the busiest on the continent.
Agreed.
So
Yeah,
we already have
Have
an
a market.
an advantageous position.
correct. That's why the Kalasha International Film and TV Market was actually put in place. And we're also championing an increased promotion of quality productions in the country, so that the kind of stories that we tell are able to appeal to the international market. Remember, if we told stories that are not resonating with the audiences, then that will be a weakness. We are currently also looking at a situation where statistical data is actually mainstreamed to the national statistics. For many years, Kenya has not had, through Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, has not had an opportunity to collect data that is relevant to this sector. This financial year, Kenya Film Commission, in partnership with the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, we are coming up with what we call Film Industry Satellite Account, meaning every time you will be able to get the kind of data that you need. For example, how many women are operating the film industry? How much are we contributing to the exchequer, to the GDP in general? And how many productions are actually done on location in Kenya, both local and international, be they documentaries, feature films, series, and so on. The kind of funding that Kenya receives from either foreign productions or local productions. All these things are things that the Kenya Film Commission is actually doing. And just to overemphasize, Kenya Film Commission was actually established to play the role of promoting the film industry. So any filmmaker out there or an aspiring one who would like to know how to operate within the film industry, then our doors are open. I just encourage them to join us. You can reach us through our social media tools. Our Twitter account is Kenya Filmcom. Our Facebook is Kenya Film Commission, and Instagram. And we are available to assist in every way. Yes.
There's a lot of support that has gone into, like you said, production of TV documentaries, films, feature films. But then there's still a lot more that can still be done. And this is why I want to ask, what's that ecosystem looking like, and what the role of the Kenya Film Commission has been in developing that ecosystem? I'm looking at a situation where a production house has been established and it gets local investors, people who just put in money and they know they are investing into something. They'll get their shareholders into it. They'll be getting dividends after a while. But this organization has money to finance its own productions and to finance its marketing and distribution. Do we have something like that?
Thank you for raising that question. First of all, remember this is an IP-related industry. So copyright and intellectual property components are very critical. We are championing filmmakers to appreciate why copyright issues are critical. And by sensitizing the industry and being able to understand that their wealth is in their copyright, then it's possible to attract investors into the sector. We're also working with the Kenya Bankers Association to see to it that we are able to open up the banking institutions to the film industry, so that you as a filmmaker, assuming today you got an LPO from Showmax, and it requires you to get, let's say, 50 million shillings to start your project. Are you able to walk into a local bank to get funding to start your project? So if we have a credit guarantee scheme, then that is one way of opening up that space, and this is work in progress that we are doing. Other than that, within the proposed legal framework for the industry in Kenya, we are going to establish what we call a film fund. A film fund, like it's been done in other jurisdictions, will be able to enable key productions and Kenyan stories to be told in a way that has never been done before. So all this is work in progress, and I can assure you that we are progressing well, and we are very clear on our mark.
You mentioned the film fund. It reminds me of the sports fund.
Yes.
Are there plans to safeguard and ring fence this fund from other long hands?
Eric, you also reminded me of the youth fund.
The sports fund is actually there. It was established
Yes.
where money goes into this particular pool
Yes.
for the development and support of sport in the
An
country.
excellent idea.
There have been very many questions whether this fund is actually being used for the intended purposes. Now we talk about the film fund. Are we going to ring fence this to make sure that the only way this money can be withdrawn from the fund if it's going to the intended purpose and not to support, payment of salary somewhere?
I think that's very clear, and I will use an example of our current small grant that we issue to the filmmakers. We have a clear criteria where if you are able to tick all the boxes and you have a business plan, we are able to fund you to produce your content. And world over, when you look at how film funds are managed, I think that's one of the key ways on how government can be able to support the development and growth of a vibrant film industry. I would like to see a situation where it is legislated that, let's say, on a Friday afternoon, from 2 o'clock, we are left to go home to just go and watch movies like it's done in other countries like France. If we create such a culture, then we should be able to create more jobs, have more money coming from this sector to construct our roads and other infrastructural developments.
Sure.
There's something else, sorry, just a final one here. The issue of intellectual property.
Yes.
Okay. It's a big one.
Correct.
Everybody who's participating in this assumes that there's somebody who owns the IP and they don't know who. Is there more increased awareness? So you've talked about, let's say, a production house, a broadcaster is commissioning a producer. Who owns the IP? Do the actors have a say in it? Is there a vibrant awareness creation so we don't get to a point where people are saying, I own a piece of this?
There is a chain of intellectual property ownership. When we talk about content ownership, anytime a broadcaster is engaging a producer or a seller of content, the rights have to be established as who is the rightful owner of this content. And that's why the kind of awareness that we are doing in partnership with the other government agencies like Kenya Copyright Board and also World Intellectual Property Organization, that is WIPO, we are working together to create that sensitization so that artists know their rights, and also just empowering the local filmmakers in a way that when we have strong associations, for example, you mentioned actors, whether they have a stake in any production. As an actor or actress, if you feature in a production, anytime you appear, there is what we call royalties. And all those have to be understood that there are institutions that are actually mandated to collect royalties on behalf of artists and give a paycheck at the end of the year. This, of course, will be able to grow much if the filmmakers are also able to organize themselves, have very organized film associations that are very strong to determine various elements. Also, I need to go to issues of payment. How do we ensure that filmmakers have specific rate cards in terms of what they earn from the work they do? Anytime you are being contracted to participate in a production, then you know that as a lead actor, this is what I qualify to earn. That can be achieved when we have strong guilds and associations. And that is all that we are championing to see to it that we're able to achieve this. Other than that, the aspects of artists' rights, how do we ensure that filmmakers are able to get a collective medical cover, insurance aspects? So we are engaging NHIF through the Ministry of Health. We're also engaging what we call the Insurance Regulatory Authority, so that issues of insurance for the sector is also addressed. So there is a lot that is going on that within time we should be able to achieve and have a vibrant film industry in Kenya.
You talk about, almost again, trying to make sure that the Kenyan populace, the locals, are watching this content that is produced. Ever think of ideas whereby, for example, the commission has designated cinemas across the country, for example, whereby new films are coming out at whatever intervals, but then what you're doing is that you're offering these films for showing at a lowered price. And I'm talking around the country, not just in Nairobi, so that, number one, people have something for entertainment. Number two, they're also then aware that this content is coming from Kenyan producers, Kenyan actors and Kenyan writers, so that across the country, what you're doing is that you're proliferating these talents and people then are aware what's happening and they have something for entertainment at the same time. Do such things feature in plans?
Yes, thank you. Under our audience development program, we do mobile cinema. And the essence of the mobile cinema is to enable Kenyans to see themselves featuring in these productions. And the more they are able to see their young stars in the local productions, the more we embed and our parents get to appreciate that actually film is business. So I like what you are saying, but at the same time, I'm calling upon investors to look at an opportunity, because lack of cinemas in the country is a gap that investors can actually be able to plug into, to invest into this and have this as a business opportunity. Of course, government to provide incentives towards that end so that we have cinemas in each and every county. We are currently running what we call mobile cinema through drive-ins because of COVID. And this, of course, also calls for investors to take up the challenge and run with it, because it's one way of being able to create wealth. So it's a huge area that we have to put a concerted effort, both as government and the private sector. And of course, anytime film productions are being made, it's also good to note that film is a business. We cannot just wake up and produce and tell or assume that the film will be able to sell itself. One has to come up with a business plan, know exactly whom you are producing your content for, so that you price it well, package it, and also brand it properly. So we are saying that just like in manufacturing, film is actually a business like any other. We must be able to operate and serve it in a very structured manner.
Timothy,
Yes.
we thank you very much for joining us today. Timothy Owase is the CEO of the Kenya Film Commission. We've been talking about the 11th edition of the Kalasha International Film and TV Awards going down this Friday, like you said, at Safari Park Hotel.
This will be at Safari Park Hotel, and just to let our audiences know that they will have an opportunity to follow this event live on KTN from 7:30 p.m.
From 7:30 p.m. on KTN,
Yes.
you'll be able to watch this and catch. So, tickets?
It's an invite only because of COVID. So for those who won't be able to get their tickets, should be able to follow the event online on our social media tools as well as on KTN.
Okay. I think watching it on TV is good enough. We're used to that. So, KTN home on Friday at 7:30 p.m. You'll be watching the 11th edition of the Kalasha International Film and TV Awards. Nduoko will be on the red carpet. Yeah.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.